When one is to think about famous American photographers, many people's minds instantly shoot to Robert Frank or Joel Meyerowitz, because these men are famously known for their Americana photography. Unlike these two, however, Vivian Maier, a newfound street photographer, wasn't known at all until only about 10 years ago. Though this may seem like a fair amount of time to gain fame, the time frame of Maier's photographs is what makes this discovery all the more interesting. In fact, John Maloof, an author and film producer, came across her photographs at an auction just a few days after her death when looking for some vintage images of his hometown in Chicago for a book he'd been working on. Once he realized what he had found, he knew that there must have been more to Maier than what he had found that day. So, like any mystery, Maloof followed as many leads as he could until he knew it was safe to conclude this story. Although her work is amazing nonetheless, it stands out even more when given some background on the photographer herself. In a brief summary, Maier lived her daily life as a nanny for a wealthy family in Chicago for around 50 years, but her talent of photography was kept a secret until after her death. Her reasoning behind such privacy remains unknown, but this allows her life to be open to interpretation like any great art is. Throughout her photos, she seems to be consistent in capturing the day-to-day lives of those around her. She also commonly shoots in black and white as shown in these images. Though she photographs typical lives of citizens, she does so in a way of keeping her subjects diverse in social status. Maier understands and demonstrates the importance of inclusiveness through her photography by presenting the upper class as well as the lower class citizens. By doing this, the general theme of her message comes to a full circle as she documents the world. For example, it is clear to see that the woman in the previous photo is wealthy judging by her clothing, whereas the man in this current photo may be homeless or simply having a lower income than the other. By doing this, the general theme of her message comes to a full circle as she documents the world. A majority of her photographs were shot in the 1950s and even reach into the early 80s. During this time, the United States was in the process of going through some extensive social changes. In this photograph shown here, it is clear to see that Maier is trying to demonstrate a story depicted through her subjects. When Maloof learned more about Maier, it is discovered that she had a strong liberal perspective towards politics. So, in her photograph, her story may be illustrating hope in the black man's eyes in a country where not everyone is truly equal, no matter how much it claims to be. By capturing this pure moment, she is truly defining what life is like during this time. This image is not only meaningful in storytelling, but is also compositionally pleasing as her main subject sits in the foreground. She wants the audience to notice him first. In doing so, the viewers are able to see the detail in his facial expression compared to those in the back who are viewed in a subtle blur because of depth of field. Another example of Maier's unique style is how she doesn't try to be perfect for every photo. In this image, her goal is to clearly frame those who are within the trees, but it is not perfectly centered. The reasoning may be because she was only shooting for herself and not aiming to please others. This is what makes her work even more meaningful because she was not worrying about the opinions of the critics who may think otherwise. While doing this, she is able to withhold a sense of individuality while maintaining the beauty of the image. This work does not fail to please the audience because from this certain angle, the viewer feels as though they are in the snow and looking at the subjects of Maier's photograph. This technique is often used by centering the subjects in the image, thus making it nearly impossible for the viewer to look anywhere else. In the end, there is still much to be learned about the mysterious Vivian Maier as she leaves the world a trail of breadcrumbs to follow and ultimately dig deeper into her story. It is unfortunate to discover while doing some research that there have been arguments on who is to claim profits because this may be what Maier was afraid of. What was so unique about her specifically is that she stayed grounded in her regular lifestyle while encapsulating the raw emotions of people who came from all social statuses. Although she is still fairly new in the world of photography, she has left a legacy in what she believes the purpose of this art to be. When one's heart is in the right place, the result can be iconic, just like Maier's photography. Thank you.